failed to go Facebook. Well, that's all right. We're just gonna remove it. All right. So we live. Yep, we still live. Shoot Your Shot, the podcast, ready to go. It's been a while. Every time when we make that Thursday to Tuesday jump, it feel like such a long time and
Such
so
a
much
long time, yeah.
so much shit happens. So
Especially
these
I was so used to going Saturdays too. So
well, we looks like we got a good little groove going. We've since we started, we haven't really slipped up. So hopefully everybody keeps up with us. We appreciate everybody that was on the last stream. That was amazing. I guess first we should shout out Vic. He not here. It's his birthday.
Happy
birthday, Vic. He in the chat. He probably drunk right now.
Enjoy your day.
The youngest 50-year-old I ever seen.
Right. The youngest looking. Yep.
Yeah.
Right about that. So
a lot happened. I just want to get something out of the way real quick because I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. I was in a debate this weekend with a dude, a hater. I'm not gonna say his name because we don't shout out haters other than Vic on this show. Who was getting in a little debate about the Knicks, and his biggest argument. Well, he was one of those. Well, they're on vacation now, so I'm wearing my vacation shirt because I'm repping my squad and I'm on vacation.
Ain't nothing wrong
so
with that.
I'm still riding with my squad. It's Knicks all day. We ain't hanging our hats and fuck the haters.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And I see your banner. Congratulations to Coach Tibbs. He won Coach of the Year. Many people felt like he didn't deserve it, but honestly, I feel he did. You know, props to.
Well, I want to touch on that at the end. Let's talk about the breaking news that just broke. For any of y'all haven't seen yet, Jokic, the Joker, he won his first MVP. That's right. Official breaking news. A lot of people had that as their MVP pick. I think neither of us did. I think I had Chris Paul, and you had Steph Curry.
Yeah, I had Steph Curry. I wanted Steph to win, but I kind of knew he wouldn't. It was a long shot. Based on popularity and how he was being talked about, and also team record. So I knew Steph wouldn't win it, but I actually I kind of had a feeling Joker would win. So that's
cool. I think that was kind of the feeling that everybody had all along. I just feel like nobody wanted to admit it. Like, we knew it was. We seen what this dude did all season, and I mean, he did his thing. He got his team to the second round. So I know these yearly awards don't reflect the playoffs, but to me that's something that's important. So he fought hard all year. He's got his team, fighting hard, and they're overachieving right now without their second best player, Jamal Murray. So that's a whole thing too. I think if it's flipped and Jokic is out and Jamal Murray is playing, they're not as good of a team.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Joker is a more focal point than Murray, but I'm not gonna act like the team is just a slouch team. Porter Jr. has definitely stepped up in Murray's absence. You also had the acquisition of Austin Rivers, who may not be, a top guy on a lot of people's radar, but he flies under the radar. He's a very good defensive player as well as giving you, what you need on offense.
I want to say real quick, not to cut you off, but before that Derrick Rose trade, he was on the Knicks, and he had a couple of really, really good games.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's not going to get you 25 a night, but he'll get you, on an average night, he'll get you 12, couple assists, couple rebounds, and on a good night, he'll get you 25, 30, and
when he's hot, feed him. If you feed him, he'll keep it going. I also, the mid-season acquisition of Gordon, that helped him out. That opens things up, and he's a great defender. You know, you seen in round one they had him guarding Lillard at some points, and he was giving Lillard fits. So, you know, it was good mid-season pickups to help them get over that Jamal Murray injury. So, but props to Joker for winning his first MVP. I'm pretty sure it won't be his last. And
Probably not.
We'll see what he does from here on in.
I want to shout out my homie Marcus. Hopefully his brother Maurice watching with us too. That looks like they first time tuning in. So I want to shout y'all out. Vic is he back too, checking us out. So appreciate y'all. And we're going to jump into the fight real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on it. And then we're going to get into these playoffs because I know that's what y'all want to hear. You said you caught a little bit towards the end. I caught a little bit of it. I caught the highlights. I mean, overall impressions. What'd you think?
I mean, it was an exhibition, and you could tell. Like, Floyd looked rusty. He looked like he ain't fighting years, and he hasn't, which I expected. I expected him not to really put, you know, everything into this fight. But he did what he had to do to show that he's a real boxer, and this guy isn't. I was impressed that Paul made it 8 rounds, but again, you know, he wasn't facing a guy that was looking to knock him out or looking to hit him hard. He took a few good shots. He gave a few good shots, but overall, it was a bore. It wasn't really something to talk about, something to really, you know, live up and hype up over, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, it's an exhibition. From what it seems like, this is going to be the direction that Floyd Mayweather is headed towards, these exhibition fights, so he can get a quick, you know, 30, 40 million, whatever it is, and call it a day. You know, because it's Money Mayweather. You're going to get money at the end of the day. That's what this entire fight was about. I think homie made 20 million to lose, so, you know, lose since there was no loser, but it was overall a bore. Floyd hit the 2 times Floyd hit him, homie was dropping to the floor, but I don't know if you've seen the video, but Floyd picked his ass up, told him, "No, this for TV. Don't get your ass knocked out and embarrassed."
Yeah, so, definitely.
When I seen that, I was like, "Oh yeah, this dude, like he's exactly what I thought he was—a little blonde kid who lifts a lot of weights but got a glass chin." He fought any boxer that was close to his size. He's getting knocked the fuck out. He's not a real boxer, you know. Now, if he takes this as a lesson and starts putting time in and trains hard and you know puts the work in, who knows what he could be? But he's not. And Mayweather made it look like that when he was maybe going half speed. I mean, you could even tell, you know, Money May, when he go into the ring, usually he got the fresh cut, clean shave, looking good. He came in with a dusty lineup, beard, and he didn't give a fuck. He was in it for the money.
He really didn't. It was easy.
And he said $100 million for this fight. So, I mean, that's it right there. You know, if he can make $100 million, go 50%, not take any real blows, you know, why not?
He calls it legal bank robbing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And I totally agree. You know, he went in there and you could do the math. You got 3 times 8, that's 24 minutes. So, and you know, if you factor in the bullshit that goes behind stage and, you know, all miscellaneous things, so you would say an hour tops maybe, you know, for post-game, pre-game stuff. And so you're talking about $100 million for an hour. Sign me up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. So I'll take an ass whooping for $20 million.
Yeah. But what I just don't hope this Logan Paul guy thinks he can step into the ring with anyone and anybody, like real boxers and real fighters. Because, hey, man, all it takes is one time, and you get your head knocked off, and next thing you know, you don't even know what you're doing here or why you here or how much you're getting paid, and you know, it's just downhill from there. So if I was him, I would just take the earnings from this fight, you know, and play it safe, invest, and try to live off that. And, you know, if down the line you run across something else that might seem like easy money, then you take it. If not, then I wouldn't suggest you just getting in the ring with anyone.
Right. I don't remember. I don't know which. I don't follow the UFC that much, but I know I seen a UFC dude was complaining that this dude made 20 million to lose, and he ain't a real boxer. And what are they doing wrong? And I know it's a popular sport. I know I'm in the minority when it comes to not really liking UFC. To me, boxing will always and forever be superior, just because of you know. To me, it's just a classier sport. Is to me, it's a little more technique to it. I know there's all kinds of techniques and all that these MMA fighters do, and I respect all of them. Every last one of them could whoop my ass. I'm not trying to take away what they could do, but it's just not. It's not as, to me, not as easy of a sport to watch. I mean, boxing, these dudes, it's a chess match in there. It's where can I squeeze this, this left or this uppercut? Where can I get it in? And I think. I don't see UFC ever catching up to boxing as far as the money's concerned.
Well, I honestly think the one issue with UFC is just so much. It's too many.
So many dudes. There's right. So many of them.
So many dudes. So many different weight classes. It's just too many fighters, and also it's about promoting and promotion. It's not like Nate Robinson walked away with 20 million. Like. He got 20 million because look who he was fighting. He was fighting Floyd Mayweather. So it's a big name, It's not about who you are and it's about who you're fighting and how can we promote this. And you got to understand that when a UFC is on pay-per-view, it's like 13, 14 fights on that card. So that money is being split with so many different fighters and so many different fights. So it's not easy to get that big pay cut. But when you talk about a boxing pay-per-view, you got 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 4 at the most. So it's like that pay-per-view money is not really being split with so many people. If this guy from UFC just feels like I don't understand that. If I feel like my job isn't paying me enough, I go get another job. I go look for something else. I'm not going to sit here and keep whining and complaining that, this guy is making more than me. I'm pretty sure there's guards out there making 10 times what I'm making. And I'm not going to complain. I'm going to either love my job and do what I do or go look for something else. You know what I'm saying? So I think get that.
I think the biggest difference between boxing and UFC, and then we'll get off this, is Dana White. UFC is controlled by Dana White. His name is everywhere. He like Puff Daddy. He all in the videos. He all on the records.
Yeah,
he getting to cut all that money. And with boxing, it's about the fighters.
Right.
It's always been about the fighters. I mean, Don King had his run when he was promoting, but even he didn't have the power that Dana White has. These boxers are earning their money because they're drawing the money in and they're taking the bigger percentage. So, like Vic said, UFC fighters are in the wrong sport. You want to make some money, learn how to box, and also, get out that octagon and get in the ring.
And also, when Don King didn't control every boxer.
Yeah, he had his crew.
Right, you got your crew. Like Dana White seems to control everything in UFC. So it's like,
he's like Vince McMahon.
Yeah, so it's like get out, or find something else. So I don't know.
All right, well, we're going to get off that. We're going to get to the NBA playoffs. We had a couple games last night. There was a couple games before that as well, but we'll focus on the games that were last night. We had the Bucks and the Nets. Look, I'm going to say this. I got the Nets winning this series. I did not think that the Bucks were just not going to show up for 2 games, especially with no James Harden. They're done. They might get swept. Like, to go into game 2 knowing they were going to be short James Harden, you should have came in and gave it everything you had, and they got blown the fuck out. I think it's over for the Bucks. I'm going to make it quick. I think they're getting swept. Nets in 4.
All right, so and before the series started, you asked a question, or not a question, but a question. You said the over-under for the Nets losing in the whole playoffs. was 2, and I took 2. They lost 1 against who they played in the first round. Sorry, my mind is brain fart.
The Nets.
Yeah, the Nets lost the game in the first round. I forgot to who.
To the Celtics.
To the Celtics. Yeah, there you go. So they lost 1 game against the Celtics, and I don't think they're gonna lose another game until possibly the NBA Finals. I picked them to lose only 2 games throughout the playoffs, and I'm gonna stick with that.
So that number does not change with James Harden being out. Let's say, I hope it's not the case, but let's say James Harden is done for the playoffs.
I made a statement last night in private, and I'm gonna announce it. I said, now listen, and let me explain this. I said, honestly, the Nets are a better team without James Harden, and I'm gonna explain why. One, you don't have to get 3 stars involved now. The basketball can flow better. Another thing is the bench guys are more involved without James Harden there. When you only have Kyrie and Kevin Durant, the bench guys seem to do more. They scored 124 points last night, if I'm not mistaken. Kevin Durant 125 points. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving only counted for 55 points. So now you do the math. So you got 70 points from everyone else. That's unheard of. When you can get 70 points from your team without your stars included, that's a recipe for easy victory. Everyone just plays fluid when Harden is not there. Even though Harden has changed this game to fit the Nets, it's still more slower, and it's kind of like he controls the tempo and he controls a lot. And every now and then he still gets into his dribble, step back, shoot a 3 mode.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nets don't do that when he's not there. So they are more scarier with Harden because now you have to play defense on 3 top guys. But without Harden, they're dangerous because the offense flows. You see the way the offense flows. Milwaukee doesn't have time to get set on defense because the ball is moving so much. When Harden is there, Harden brings up the ball, and then he looks and waits and sees and then distributes. When Harden is not there, they inbound the ball. They pass. The ball gets passed 2 or 3 times before they even get to the half-court set. And then now it's pass, cut, move, cut, pass, cut. You don't know who's getting the ball. So now you try to guard Kyrie. He break you down. He collapses the defense. He kicks it. Joe Harris, you think he's going to shoot. He pump fakes, dishes this guy. Blake Griffin on the inside. This is why Blake is catching dunk after dunk after dunk, because the inside is so open. The defense
lane is wide open.
They don't know what's going on. The offense just moves so much fluidly when Harden is not playing. So I feel they're a better offensive-minded team and defense because Harden is a slacker on defense. Now that he's not there, they play tougher defense. They have a better defender in his position. Brown is a better defender. Nicholas Claxton is a better defender. You also got Mike James. He's a better defender. Like, these guys hustle. They play better defense when he's not there. So I just think that
you got to think about all those Harden plays probably close to 40 minutes a game. When you can divvy that up between 3-4 dudes, it's going to be that's playing hard.
Right. So now they got more energy. They got time to burn and things like that. And again, they're not looking to go chuck. So the ball moves more fluently. They had 3 or 4 players score 12 or more points last night. So other than Kyrie and Kevin Durant, you got 3 or 4 players giving you 13, 14, 15 points. You don't know what's going on. Milwaukee just looks lost because their game plan was to focus on 2 to 3 stars. We shut down these guys, we good. And it's not that. Now that Harden is gone, that ball is moving too much. And another thing is Milwaukee is settling. They get on offense, they pass the ball one time, chuck up a shot. Sometimes they don't even pass the ball. Drew Holiday brought the ball up about 5, 6 times where he ain't even passed the ball to no one. He brought the ball up, shot the first shot. Middleton, same thing with him. He brought the ball up or got one pass, took a shot, missed it. You know what I'm saying? Giannis, they giving him the open 3. They giving him the open 20-footer. Take it, brother. If you hit it, congratulations. But he's not hitting them. So, therefore, that's killing them. They're not moving the ball because when they're on offense, they don't have that ball movement like the Nets do. They have ISO. They're ISO players. Middleton is an ISO guy. Giannis is an ISO guy. Drew is an ISO guy. He want to break the defender down and get to the lane and then collapse the defense. But when it's like you got a defender that's playing tough on you, you can't do that. So I just think the Bucks are lost out there. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who to guard. They don't know who's going to get the ball. They don't know who's going to get it and get the open look. And that's where the Nets are killing them. So, yeah, I got the Nets in 4, maybe a gentleman's sweep 5. But game 3 will tell it off. The Nets go out there and destroy them game 3, then it's over in 4. But I still got the Nets losing just 2 games, maybe 3, but just 2 for now. Because if they sweep the Bucks, whoever they play out of Philly and Atlanta, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to do the same thing. I don't see any one of those teams. I say that the toughest competition is going to come from the West. And it's going to be, it has to be a team like either the Clippers or Utah. Other than the Clippers and Utah, if they play Phoenix, they're going to sweep Phoenix. If they play Denver, they're going to sweep Denver. So,
yeah, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to sound crazy. I think the worst thing that could have happened for the East was for the Knicks to go out round 1, because I think we would have played the Nets the best out of any team in the East. Strictly speaking, because of the New York rivalry, we would play up to them, and we would still lose. Don't get me wrong. I still would probably have us losing in 5, maybe 6 if we were lucky. But there would be better games. The story would have been better storyline for the NBA. And it just would have been better quality basketball because, it's like how I said before. It doesn't matter how good or bad the Bengals and the Steelers and the Ravens are. When we play each other, it's like a Super Bowl on the line, and we play up to, we play up and beyond what we're supposed to play. And I think that would have been the same effect. I don't see that happening with Milwaukee. I've said it so many times. I like Chris Middleton, but he cannot be the second best player on your team if you want to win a championship, especially when Giannis is your number 1 player. They don't complement each other that well when you get into the boiling pot of the playoffs.
Well, I think the key is when one is off, then where's your offense coming from? Because Giannis can't shoot. So
yeah, exactly.
So Middleton game opens up when Giannis is able to break the defense down and able to suck the defense in. Pause. But he's not able to do that because the Nets are giving him the shot instead of letting him get to the rim. So if Giannis can't get to the rim, then yeah, of course, it affects both their game.
So Vic said that Giannis need to get out of Milwaukee. Shout out to my homie Derek, and he said yeah to the Heat. Derek, I think that would be a terrible move for your Heat because Giannis is just a big Jimmy Butler. 2 dudes who need to get into the paint. Neither of them can shoot. And y'all don't really have any other proven shooters to me that could spread out people out enough. The little white kid who shot last year with lights out in the bubble, he ain't been nothing since. So I think that'd be a terrible move, Derek.
Here's where the Heat fucked up. They should have made that trade for James Harden. When that James Harden trade came available for them, they should have said, fuck Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and whoever else, and they should have got rid of those guys and took James Harden. And things would have been different in Miami. But let's see what Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson can do right now. Nothing.
Dubs. Both of them dubs. Get them out of here. So, Giannis to Golden State.
Golden State needs shoot.
Yeah, Golden State got the shoot. You know, if Clay come back as Clay, they got the shooters that could spread you out. He could play center on that team and absolutely dominate. I agree with that.
I always say Giannis should have went or should go to Golden State. I've been preaching that move for like 2-3 years now, and I thought he would go before he signed the Supermax deal. And even at this point, I still feel he can go. If they was to send a little package of Wiggins,
they got enough,
Wiseman, and whatever, some draft, get Giannis. If he can get the Golden State, then that'll be dangerous, because the way Steph and Clay shoot, you don't need to worry about offense now. And Giannis would just have all day, and that you would have no other choice but to let him get to the basket, because you don't want to build that same wall that you're building when you got shooters like Clay and Steph. So
imagine that pick and roll. You got Steph Curry on the ball, Giannis setting the screen, and Clay on the wing. Who you gonna guard?
That's dangerous.
Yeah,
You got a guy like Draymond that's very smart on offense and knows how to control and dictate what the defense does. And I guarantee you, if they was to get a player like Giannis, Draymond would probably average 10, 11 assists a game. I don't think so. I don't see what everyone else sees in Butler. Like, Jimmy Butler is all right, but even Miami see it. This is why they don't want to sign him to that extension. They want to wait. And
he can't. And I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler, more so of his personality and attitude, more so than his game. I like who he is as a person off the court, and he's a shit talker, and I like shit talkers. But again, he can't be a number one option.
No,
he's a great number two option.
Yeah,
a great number two option.
That's it. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So the other game on Monday was Nuggets versus the Suns. That was another blowout. Jokic had not been named the MVP yet, but he had, I say only, but he only had 22, 9, and 3. Chris Paul had 21, 6, and 11. I think this Suns team is catching fire at the right time. I see them taking this series in 6. I think Chris Paul, if Chris Paul could stay healthy through this entire series, I don't see them having an issue, especially with no Jamal Murray, like we talked about before. Phoenix has enough in the front court to throw it at Jokic to make him have those less effective 22-point games, this and that. And I feel like Chris Paul just hungry, tired of hearing that he ain't got a ring. So I think Suns in 6, and I think there's going to be more than one of these ugly blowout games if the Nuggets can't tighten up a little bit.
It was actually a close game until about midway through the third. Actually, Denver was winning at one point, and as I was leaving, Denver was up by about 6, and then I got in the car and turned it on the radio, and then it was like, what the hell just happened? And Chris Paul simply took over. He scored 14.
He hungry. He won it. You could tell he won it.
He scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. They really didn't have an answer for him, which is weird because you're looking at a guy that's, 34, 35 years old.
And a small guy at that.
Yeah, he's a small guy. He's 6'1". He doesn't have the height. So for him to, dominate and take control like he did was really surprising.
His post 36.
Yeah, 36. Sorry, but yeah, he is. You can see that. Not only is he hungry, but he's heart. He brings that heart that you need. I always say there's an intimidation factor when you play certain players in certain teams, and with Chris Paul on your team, even in the lineup, he provides that heart that you need to not be intimidated. And I think that's the only thing the Suns was lacking was that heart and leadership. And that's why he fits so perfect. And that's why they're here, because, it's kind of like Tom Brady in Tampa. They had everything. They got the defense. They got a good offense. They just need that one guy that's going to provide some sort of leadership and heart. And Tom came and was like, all right, if this is what y'all need, this is what I got. Like, I got what y'all need. And that's what Chris Paul is. Chris Paul came, and it's like, yo, you got to score. I'm not here to score 30, 40 points. You got Booker for that. I'm not here to grab 10, 15 rebounds. You got Ayton for that. I'm not here to chuck up shots and do this and do that, because y'all got all of that. I'm here to provide the two things y'all need, which is leadership and heart. And now that the Suns got that, they're a complete team. And he also brings a defensive mindset where, we not taking plays off. Denver never really got into a run, into a flow. They didn't go on no 8-0 runs, 10-0 runs, 12-something, 2 runs, like none of that. Although they were up by 5 or 6 points, Phoenix kept coming. Until, they kind of wore them down and was like, yo, it's time for us to take over. I got Phoenix in 6. I do think Denver will pull off a victory or two. There's going to be one of those high-scoring, no defense playing games where both teams is in the 120s, 130s, somewhere around there. It's just, can Denver's team show up? Because Joker can't do it by himself. And
right.
Ayton is not a slouch. So I don't see Joker going off every game 30, 40 points. So he's going to need guys like Porter. Porter needs to score 25 to 30 points in one of these games, 2 of these games. Gordon, you're going to need Gordon to score 20 to 25 points in a couple of games. You may need Austin Rivers to drop 20 here and there. So it's like they're going to need it. You know what I'm saying? And if they get it, then they can stretch it to 6. If they go out there and it's just Joker and you're just trying to get Joker to score, then this series could be over in 4, maybe 5 games. So I'm going to pick Denver in 6 as a safe pick, but it wouldn't surprise me if Phoenix gets this over with faster.
Yeah, it's possible because of the way Denver is constructed, and it's what makes them such a great team, and what also makes them not so great is they're not built on one superstar. They are a full team. So when you got these dudes, these B, C tier players, they're kind of being depended on to show up, especially times like this, and they don't show up, it could be rough, especially with one of their main players down. So it's going to all be about, like you said, the Aaron Gordons, Michael Porter Jr., who we were talking about earlier, Austin Rivers Jr., Austin Rivers. They're going to have to show up, and they're going to have to make a difference, because if they don't, it's going to be over in 4. And it's not to say it's another wasted season for Denver, but it's another wasted season because we all know big men, especially heavier big men, they don't last that long. They like running backs in the NFL. You getting 4 or 5 great years out of them, and that's pretty much going to be it. He's lucky because he's not athletic. He doesn't, everything he does is under the rim, so he don't got to worry about it. But once those injuries start kicking in, like we said, father time kick in, those knees, those ankles, those back issues, that's what comes up with every big man. Toes. Every big man has those issues, and once they creep up, he's not going to be the same player. The thing that sets him apart is his passing vision. So he might, that might extend him a couple more years, but they already 3 years deep into this Jokic era, and they don't have more than another 3. So, they don't have to put it together real fast.
Well, I'll look at it like next season will tell more, because you'll have a healthy Jamal Murray. You'll have Joker, coming off an MVP season. So now that he got that out the way, he can focus on the next chapter. You'll have Gordon there now for a full year. He can fit in. You have Porter, who made a huge jump from bench role guy to starter now. So I think next year will tell more, and I will see what they do next year, as opposed to this year. Once Murray got hurt, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wrote them off and didn't have them going, anywhere. So I think if they can get 6 to 7 games out of this series, if they fail, if they fall, I don't think anyone will call it a underachieving season. If they get far and make it to the next round, then I would feel that they accomplished pretty much what they wanted to. As far as winning the title, I don't see them winning the title this year.
No.
It'll take a lot of ifs, a couple of injuries, a couple of big games from their stars and from their players, and a lot of luck for them to win the title this year. So next year will be the season that I really hold against them.
Cool. It looked like most of the people watching say they got Denver because they don't trust Chris Paul's health, which is always a question mark. But right now he's healthy, so we making these picks like he's gonna stay healthy, and we hope that he does.
Yeah, I don't want to wish any health injuries or issues on Chris Paul. Right now he's healthy, he's playing. So if he can continue doing what he did last night, I don't see the Suns losing to Denver.
All right, so tonight we got game 2 of Hawks versus Sixers. I honestly forgot that they were even playing, so I didn't tune in until like the last 4 minutes when Atlanta almost blew it. So that's all that I got to see, but they came close to blowing it hard. If it wasn't for that dumbass clear path foul, and Embiid damn near killed himself to get, that game could have went a whole nother way. And I don't think Atlanta was ready for that press. Clearly, they weren't ready for that press. But this game should be interesting because they should have had some time to prepare for that. You hope they will learn from it. But I think personally, it's one of the things that we should have done. Press Trae Young. He talk a lot of shit, but he's a small dude. He's not taking that physicality very well. I think if you rough him up, you get him on that press, he's turnover prone. I think they have a couple of players that are mentally soft that if you get in their heads, you press them, they're gonna fold it early. So I think Philly needs to come out with that same mentality. You need to just press them hard, press them and hope Joel Embiid's knee holds up the rest of the series. Because if his knee don't hold up, it's over for Philly. But Atlanta came out and they surprised everybody, I think, and stole that first game. Again, barring no injuries, I hope Joel Embiid can stay healthy. I still see the Sixers winning this series, probably in 6 or 7. But they need to come with the right mentality, because if they come with the mentality that they came with in that first game as the number 1 seed, they're going to get beat, because Atlanta's got those shooters, and they could light you up real quick. They could score points fast, and before you know it, you're down 10, you're down 13, and you didn't even know you were in the game yet. That's what happened to the Knicks, and we weren't able to come back. So Philly got to come out with a mentality. Your boy Ben Simmons need to show up. He need to do something. They hack-a-shacking him. He need to step up and hit free throws. If not, you're supposed to be the do-it-all, Swiss Army knife point guard who's 6'7" and do this and do that, but you can't hit a free throw.
6'10", actually.
6'10", whatever. Can't hit a free throw. You can't hit a three-pointer. Why are you considered, to be, and I know you have a lot of opinions on this, but he's considered to be one of the, the next up, and he don't show up in the big games. So he need to show up, and B can't be the only one on a bum knee dropping 30, 40 points. We need, even if it's like a Draymond Green triple-double, give me 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. I'll be happy with something like that. But he don't even do that. So it all rides on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid's knee. But barring any injury and hopefully Ben Simmons stepping it up, I got Philly, and I'll call it 6. No, 7.
All right. Before I get into this, I'm gonna ask you if let's just say you go to school and you don't do any work and you don't study, and every time you take a test, although you may feel you fail or you think you fail, the teacher gives you a passing grade. Are you going to study? Are you going to start doing work? No.
No.
So that's the key with Ben Simmons. Everyone praises him. He gets too much praise. He gets too much props and respect as if he did something. And he feel he doesn't need to work on anything or need to improve on anything, even in the way his coach speaks about him. I think that's an issue because it's a sense of entitlement. And if you keep doing that, there's no way he's going to want to improve his game or even try to improve his game. So that's a problem. I don't know. This series is iffy. Can Atlanta continue to do what they did for the first 42 minutes of game one? I think they have the capabilities of doing that, but then they also have the capabilities of playing like the last 6 minutes of the game. I'm pissed off because it took Philly so long to change things and play that defense that they were playing, and I felt they should have been doing that from the beginning, and they didn't. So that kind of pissed me off. Also, I don't know. I got Philly tonight winning, but I have Atlanta winning the series in 7. Do I feel Embiid's injury is going to hamper him and play a factor? Yeah, I do. I don't think he's going to last long. Hold on.
Let's see, Vic, what'd you say?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like he was saying. It doesn't seem like anybody's pushed Ben Simmons. I'm assuming you're talking about Ben Simmons. It doesn't seem like anybody has pushed him his entire career. It's kind of like someone just handed him the keys and was like, take it away, and he's never had to earn it. So he's never, he doesn't feel like he needs to earn it now. And I feel like that's, as an NBA player or a fan of an NBA player, that's the worst trait you could have, is feeling that you don't ever need to get better. Because the top dudes in the NBA for the past 20 years, don't matter who they were, top of the game, LeBron, KD, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, the next year they always came with something else. They always working on their game. They always adding something. And to me, Ben Simmons has been the same exact player he was in college, where he didn't win anything, that he's been into the pros where he has not won anything. So, if you don't want to work, then you shouldn't be, it's easy for us to say, but he shouldn't be taking all this credit and acting like he's one of the next one up. Because you see some of these dudes. I mean, Trae Young's taking it to another level. Devin Booker's taking it to another level. These are all young dudes who needed to improve their game, and they've done so, and it shows. I mean, even you take a look at RJ Barrett from year 1 to 2. In only 2 years, he improved in every category. He's a better shooter. He's a better free throw shooter. He was taking it to the rim. So, with Ben Simmons, it's like, okay, this is what you're going to get. This is all I'm giving you. You might get a highlight dunk every once in a while. I'm going to play some defense, and that's it. And one thing that surprised me to see is he wasn't even guarding Trae Young. He's guarding the off guard, and he's supposed to be in the defensive player of the year conversation. If I'm the coach of a team and I have supposedly a defensive player of the year candidate, I'm putting them on the dude who went off to see the series before, Trae Young. So I'm sending him out there. Don't let Trae breathe. You want him. If he on the court, you on the court, like coaches used to do back in the day. If he take a rest, I'll give you a rest. But if he on the court, you on the court, and you on his ass. So until someone, I think, take him as someone that he respects, that's most important. Until somebody does that, and says, "Yo, you need to add some shit to that offense," he gonna be a one-hit wonder, and it ain't gonna matter at the end of the day.
Right. I just, like I said, I've never been one to praise and give him the props until he earns it. And in my eyes, I just don't feel he's earned it yet. Many people may see it different, but it's like time will keep exposing him. We're in year 4 or 5, and he still hasn't shown me any upgrade or any improvements.
The same exact player.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say, until he does, you're not getting it from me. Like, you may get it, from others, and you may get it from, the critics, other critics and other people. But as far as I go, like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see again what he does. Tonight is going to be another test, and I'm highly upset because, one, you guarding someone so much smaller than you. It's not like Trae Young is 6'5", 6'6".
But that's what I was saying. He wasn't even guarding Trae. They had him guarding the off ball.
That's not good. He should be guarding the ball. Whoever's on ball, you're supposed to be an elite defender, defensive player of the year material. Like this is your job, and you're
exactly
not,
what I was just saying.
Anything. So I don't know, man. I think if he keeps on playing how he playing, I don't see them getting far. So it's all about Ben Simmons tonight. He needs to step up and give us a good game. Or Philly, if Philly go down 0-2, then it's over. Definitely over.
I agree. It'll be an interesting series, but I think what will end up being the most interesting series of this second round is the second game tonight, Clippers and Jazz. Clippers had to go 7 games with Dallas. The Jazz did exactly what they were supposed to do in the first round, took care of business. This will be the first game. I know all the other games have played the game. This is the first game of that series, so it's 0-0. I'm going to let you take this one first.
I see this series going 7 as well. I think the Clippers is like they're a team that it just takes them a game or two to get shit together. They come out, they got to feel what's going on and feel what players they need to guard tough, and what to do on offense and, stuff like that. So I don't, those don't work. Okay, hold on.
Cool. I see. It looked like Vic got a hold of the Shoot Your Shot podcast YouTube comments and said some things that we know that I don't agree with. So fuck you, Vic. Well, I agree with that one, so that's cool. But you want to get some people mad at that one. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting series. You bet. Cool.
Sorry. As I was
saying, good? Go
ahead. Yeah, and Mike Conley's hurt. He's going to miss game 1, so that's a factor. Will it be a huge factor in game 1? Yeah. Throughout the series, we don't know how serious it is. We don't know if he's going to miss a significant amount of time or if it's just game 1. But that's a key. So I'm going to take Utah tonight because the Clippers are just coming off a 7-game series. They didn't have the time to rest like Utah did. But I'm going to take the Clippers in 7.
Clippers in 7, you said?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Clippers in 7. So I'm going to take Utah to win game 1. And then I'm going to take the Clippers to win the series in 7.
That's interesting. This one, like I said, this is going to be tough. This one, I think, is going to be just like the Clippers' last series, where it's going to go back and forth. One might go up 2, and then they come back 2, and then tit for tat. It's going to be a classic heavyweight bout to me, I think. They say Mike Conley's got a hamstring injury, which is not good, especially for someone who plays the way he does. And that will affect him. I mean, hamstring injuries are hard to gauge. So, and that's the same thing with that James Harden has. So, they might feel good going all the way up to the game, and then, in that layup line, tweak something and it's over. So, a lot of things will hinge. I don't think Mike Conley is he's a factor, but he's not a huge factor for Utah. I think they have other players that could step in and fill his role. I really like Utah. I've said it before. Donovan Mitchell is my favorite player of this new generation. I just like his attitude. I like his game. I like Utah in general, just as a team. I play 2K, and for the past couple years, I pick Utah because that defense is always locked down, and people getting mad because I'm busting their ass with Joe Ingles and shit. Which, and I'll say to anybody out there who play 2K, if y'all want it, I'm down. I'm on PlayStation, PSN, PlayStation Plus. Y'all get at me, challenge me, put up at least 100. I ain't playing you because I ain't dealing with you trash motherfuckers. So I'll say that, and I'll pick the Knicks. I'll pick. I ain't running to the Lakers or the Nets. I don't need none of those teams. My homies who know me know that. So, but anyway, I think this game is going to be. This first game is going to be big. I think whoever wins this first game wins the series. But I think I agree it is going 7, and I'm going to pick the Jazz just because that's how I honestly, when I started this conversation, I didn't know who I was going to pick. But now that I'm going further down the rabbit hole, see, Marcus said he learned my lesson. I ain't playing. He said, it just sounds like I'm going Utah, so I'm going to stick with Utah. I will not be surprised if the Clippers pull it out, but I want Kawhi to come to the Knicks, so I hope he exit early. Vic's still on his bullshit. What time the Knicks playing tonight? I don't know. About a week more than the Spurs was playing, so I don't know. So that's all. That's all because it's only four series now. So that's all the games. So we're gonna get to the big news. My homie Taylor just jumped on. He'll get his ass whipped in 2K all day too. See, I'm a homie showing out when I mentioned 2K. So the big news that apparently a lot of people have opinions on is the coach of the year. I was the only one who predicted this over a month ago, or at least a month ago. Coach Tibbs, coach of the year. I'll let you go first because you already know what I'm on.
I like I said, I feel he deserved it. I knew it was going to be a tough race, but he deserved it. He did a lot more with a lot less. I mean, granted, Monty got his team in the second seed, but if it wasn't for health issues with other teams, would Phoenix still be this number 2? I don't know, but that's an if. On top of that, it's not like Phoenix had a trash team. They had a good team. And with the addition of CP3, everyone had them making the playoffs and, being a good team. So it's not like they did what people didn't expect them to do. Utah, you talk about probably the oldest team together. These guys have been playing together for about 3 years now. They have the best chemistry. They know each other's game. So for them to be this good isn't surprising. Did people have them as the number 1? No, but people did have them in the top 4. So I don't feel they did a lot more than what people thought they would do. Everyone had the Knicks in the lottery again.
Yep.
If not the lottery, close to it. They didn't have them anywhere near the playoffs. Nobody. So I don't want to hear.
Not even me.
Yeah, I don't want to hear, I had them as the 8th seed. No. Nobody had them as the 8th seed. Nobody had them anywhere near the playoffs. So I feel they did the most with nothing. They were a team of basically rejected players. Nobody wanted Julius Randle. Nobody wanted Nerlens Noel. At one point, nobody wanted Austin Rivers. Even Derrick Rose, for Derrick Rose to want to come back to New York is like, nobody would have thought that. And so it's like, Tom Thibodeau did the definition of, hey, you give me lemons, I'm gonna make some lemonade. I'm gonna make some lemon chicken. Like, he did what he could do, and he did it right, and he did it good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do respect what he did, and I do feel he did the most with nothing. So, it's not a problem in my eyes that he won this award. I totally agree with him being Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I know our other co-host who's absent thinks that it's Monty Williams, as we'll show you here on the screen. And that would have been a good pick if it hadn't been for Chris Paul, because we all know Chris Paul doing the real coaching on that team. Right. And I think that's what hurt Monty Williams the most. He finished with a better record in the better conference, but the Knicks have nothing close to a Chris Paul on that team. Chris Paul is as close as you're going to get in today's basketball as a player coach. He is coaching everybody the entire time on offense, on defense. He's making sure people are where they're supposed to be. All Monty Williams got to do is complain about non-calls and sit back and watch the game. He don't really got to do much. If there's adjustments to be made, Chris Paul won't tell him, like, yo, they doing this, so draw something up. So I think that the biggest thing that hurt Monty Williams is Chris Paul. And I mean that, with the most respect, because like I said, Chris Paul is my MVP, and that's why I believed he should have been MVP, because for those same reasons why Monty Williams shouldn't be Coach of the Year is the same reasons why Chris Paul should have been MVP. But neither of them won, so here we are. Like you said, and I've said those same exact things. Tibbs did the most with the least this year by an overwhelming margin. He made dudes who looked like their career was over look like, fringe, I'm not going to say all-stars, but fringe, solid B players. Alec Burks, nobody even remembered him. They said, who the hell is Alex Burke? My homies who were Hawks fans, when they were watching that game one, they were like, yo, I didn't even know he was still in the league. And I was like, nah, I mean, he been doing that for us pretty much all season, coming in off the bench, dropping 15 to 20. Nerlens Noel, the only player in the NBA to average 2 blocks and 2 steals. He got 2 rookies who, one, just because, Toppin, he suffered because of Julius Randle having the season he had. I think had Julius Randle not had the season he had, Toppin gets a lot more playing time, and he looks better than he looked. By the end of the season, he did end up looking really good. He wasn't as lost out there, and I think eventually he'll find his game the more Tibbs trusts him and gives him more minutes. Quickly overplayed his draft pick and his draft ratings, 3-4 times over, and I think that's because of, Tom Thibodeau. Derrick Rose wanted to come back for a reason. Taj Gibson, he's not at this point in his career a starting or second string center, and because of Tibbs, he was playing like one because he needed to. I think had Mitchell Robinson not been hurt, he would have led the league or been at the top in shot blocks. He was close before he got hurt. He just had these players that, like you said, that nobody wanted, that people forgot about, and he had them playing at at least a level above what they have ever played before. And that was all him. That was all the coaching staff. So, there's a lot of people out there saying you didn't deserve it. I think if you just got to open your eyes and see past the hate and see past that first round exit, and it'll be very obvious the things that he did for that Knicks team, because, before him, it's been a lot of duds. Jeff Hornacek was supposed to be the one. Derek Fisher was supposed to be the one. Who's the one dude, the Miami assistant coach, who was just fucking terrible. I can't even remember his name. Fizdale, sorry ass. You got to get him the fuck up out of there. So just bad coach after bad coach, and we finally got it right. And I'm happy the NBA acknowledged it. And I'm not even going to mention I hadn't even mentioned the thing that he did that's bigger than all of that. He changed the culture of New York Knicks basketball. Now we are a destination where players are going to want to come to because they have a coach who's going to coach the hell out of them and going to get the best out of them. And, for our future, that, like I said, at last episode when I talked about our future is bright, that's one of the reasons our future is bright, because he's going to attract these younger star players that aren't there yet but are about to be, and I think that's where we're going to be able to build.
Yeah, definitely agree. I do feel now is the time. You put up a season like this. Now that once the off season hit, you try to attract, somebody big, and take it from there. Just don't throw it all away for one player. Play smart, man. Look, if you can get that one player, then you see what you got to give up. If you got to give up too much, say, you know what? Nah, we'll fall back on that. Especially trading for a guy that's going to be a free agent the next year. You don't want to give up everything for a player that'll be a free agent in 1 year, and then you're going to have to re-sign him or try to get him to stay. That's not a good formula. Say, you know what? We'll work it with what we got for this 1 year and wait for this guy to hit the free agency. And then once he hit the market, then you could probably just sign him and keep whatever else you got around him. So I like it. Like they said, everything is better when the Knicks are a playoff team. And I agree. This season was a lot more hype. It was a lot more, interesting to see that, the fight between Atlanta, Miami, and the Knicks and the Celtics towards the end of the season. that's what we wanted. You know what I'm saying? So that made things interesting, and I just like it. You know what I'm saying? I wish next year, hopefully the Bulls are pull through and get back to what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? And and make things good again. Washington is trying to come up, so it's like that's what we want. We want a dogfight. We want is 8 playoff spots. We want 10, 12, 13 teams fighting for those. So that's what it's about. And not because everyone is under 500. We want all these teams to have winning records fighting for these spots. So, we'll see what next year does.
Yeah. Real quick, Vic said quickly made himself one of the steals. He was the steal of the draft, if you ask me. I don't think anybody would question that. I don't think anybody else that that wasn't supposed to do their thing that didn't. I think maybe what's the name, Cole Anthony in Orlando. He might have rose above a little bit what people thought he was going to be, but quickly was like the 20-something pick. I think he's by far the steal of the draft. And then Vic also said you got to give Leon Rose credit for the change in culture in New York. Definitely got to give him credit. Leon Rose and World Wide West, they definitely are a big part of that culture change. They were the ones who decided to bring Tibbs in, so that I agree with that. And then I was going to mention this before, so you can't have another Melo situation. That was the dumbest thing that we could have did. I wanted Melo back then, but he was about to be a free agent. If we wouldn't have gave up all those assets, Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, who at the time was, if we would have just waited
a couple of months,
the team we could have had,
right? And to be honest, it's not. I was on the verge of being a playoff team anyway because Amari had y'all above 500. So I don't know, man. I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So it's like I don't get it. All you had to do was wait a couple of months. Melo already stated he wanted to come to New York.
Yeah.
So you just wait it out, man. Wait it out. Say, you know what? We'll wait it out. We'll play this season, see how far we go. And you could have had Melo along with all them pieces you had already, as opposed to letting all them pieces go and just having a Melo Amari team. So that's what I'm saying. Don't fuck it all up for just one guy. That doesn't help.
Yeah, and I think right now, depending on how all the balls drop by the end of the season, we are in a position where we might not have to give up too much to get like a team. Me and you was talking about a Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard combination. I think Portland will be cool with a couple of draft picks, maybe 3 or 4 draft picks over the next 3 years, and a couple of young fringe players. I think they'll be cool with something like that because if you letting Dame go, you're not getting that back in return. So, you just got to, build for the future. And what you need for the future is young players and draft picks, and we got that. So I think we don't have to give up a lot to get him. And then if Kawhi Leonard opts out, he's going to be a free agent. We could sign him to, whatever deal. We got money to spend, and then hope Randall will take a pay cut after next year. And that's a solid squad. If we pick up Mitchell Robinson, re-sign him, that's a lineup of Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Kawhi Leonard, R.J. Barrett, and Dame Lillard. I mean, if that's not a top 4 or 5 team, damn sure in the East in the NBA period. So, if they do things right, anything's possible. I got hope for your Bulls. I think they're doing the right thing. I think a full year of was it Vujicic and Levine. I think that's going to be good. I like the little point guard, young point guard y'all got over there too. I think he'll be all right too. Kobe. I think he'll be all right. But I have high hopes for both of our squads in the next couple of years. I think Vic's sorry-ass team going to re-sign DeMar DeRozan and not be shit for the next 10 years. That's what I hope.
Put the kibosh on him.
Yeah, they done. Pop gonna retire, or he gonna go coach somewhere else or something. He gonna go chill with Coach K and Roy Williams.
I think he said one more year, and he's done.
Yeah.
He's gonna be over. He's not gonna do this anymore. So.
Yeah, he already stopped shaving and cutting his hair. He been off this NBA shit. He tired of the bullshit too. Him and Coach K and Roy Williams gonna be over there chilling in the next year.
That's crazy.
So we appreciate everybody that's been on with us. A shout out to everybody. Again, happy birthday to Vic. I hope the 49ers lose the next 50 years too.
Wow. Man, shots fired. Whole lot of shots being fired.
He been coming for me hard these past couple of days. He lucky he wasn't on this podcast. He took this podcast off on purpose.
I know. He ain't want no smoke.
So we'll be back with y'all on Thursday. Actually, I won't be here on Thursday, but Joe and Vic will be here to hold y'all down, talking NBA playoffs again and whatever else might pop up in between. Again, if y'all want us to talk about anything, let us know. Hit us up in the email. Hit us up on the Facebook. Whatever. If it's sports, we'll talk about it. So we appreciate y'all. It's been, once again, Shoot Your Shot, the podcast. You got the Joe and Joe version. There'll be no baby at the end, unfortunately.
She couldn't make
it. Out of here.
Partying right now. But
appreciate everybody
for tuning in. Everyone have a good night. Enjoy the playoff games tonight, or baseball, or whatever y'all watching. You make sure you email me them damn books. I want them books. I ain't stupid. I'm not Rory or Mal. But yeah. Thanks everyone. Have a good night. Shoot Your Shot podcast. We out.
Peace.